You are listening to Phil Hulett and Friends. Coming to you from Berth 76 at the Ports of Call in San Pedro, California, overlooking the bustling Los Angeles harbor through the soundproof windows of the palatial LA radio studio. I'm Phil Hulett, and I thank you for listening. This is an old school talk show with a new school twist. It's another busy show. College is so expensive, isn't it? But if you don't mind the hot breath of a rich old guy, it could be a lot cheaper. Let's meet the crew. Always lovely to see Jennifer Bjorklund.
I'm here.
Yes.
I'm sober.
Well, that's a change.
I know, right?
We're keeping our eye on Jay Campidonia. He's here, too.
Hello. I actually learned something about myself this week that I can't wait to tell you.
Oh.
Yes.
I can't wait to hear it. And the chiseled Chris Martin is here with sports.
Hello.
Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Phil Hulett and Friends. Send us an email, feedback at philhulettandfriends.com. And we have a whole bunch of other ways to connect to the show, which I'll explain later. Great to see you all. It's a cloudy, drizzly, spitty kind of day in Southern California here on the harbor. And we got maybe a Dixie Cup's worth of rain, and it's not going to help California's drought a smidge, is it?
It really isn't, but it makes us feel good.
Yeah. It makes us feel like for a moment we might live in Seattle.
That didn't
like
make
an
me
hour.
feel good. That just the idea didn't make me feel good.
Sorry, Seattle.
I
Nice place to visit.
I like
but
the coffee. I like the fresh fish, but
you don't like their football team, probably.
oh, sure I do.
Oh, do you?
Hey! I won
loves
some
them.
money.
Uh-oh.
Me too.
Remember,
We're gonna
I
start
won
off
some
with that,
money.
Mm-hmm.
I remember through my beer haze of last week, I must have had one too many because I remember betting.
Yeah.
What do I win?
One too many.
$15?
And I
$15?
remember way overselling the Broncos, which was a terrible idea.
I'm making a
how's
note, though. You say you may have had one too many. If I recall, you admitted to having two.
Right.
So
So
you're a
one
cheap
beer,
date.
yeah, one beer is pretty much enough for me. I think when I have to do a 2-hour.
I mean, how big were
chat
these
fest.
beers? Because you were definitely not you.
It's not how big they are; it's how strong they are.
I had an interesting conversation with Mike Stark, our executive producer. And he said, if this were a show on the radio run by some major market multi-station owner company, and you admitted on the air that you had a couple of beers, it would
I'd
have
be
been
fired. Oh
out,
yeah,
See ya.
out the door.
yeah. See you later, FCC.
But this is a podcast.
We can get away with that kind of stuff.
That's right. I'm not wearing any pants.
And we can swear and say bad words,
But we
wouldn't
won't
do that
because we told the nice people at iTunes that we would be clean.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh, what do they know?
On the subject of making money, in an unusual way. I mean, college these days is so expensive, especially if you go to
How expensive is it?
anywhere from $10,000 a semester and up. I know. I mean, I'm not talking out of school here. My youngest daughter, she goes to a private school. It's $40,000 a year. Somebody's got to come up with that money.
That's just tuition.
Yeah,
Dad.
I don't tell her, but I don't have the money. So at some point, they're going to say they're going to make her wash dishes or something. How do they do that? I really don't know what happens. But a lot of students want to go to college, need to go to college. They have dreams, but their parents can't afford it, or they can't qualify for the money or whatever. And these students, female students, take matters into their own hands. And we have one of those students in studio with us right
She's
now.
right here, everybody.
It's Sarah Kate. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Now
Don't be nervous.
I'm told. Yeah, we're like,
good.
We're pals here. Now you're not from Southern California, right?
That's correct. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts.
Did you go to school there first?
I did. I went to Tufts University.
Oh, that's an expensive school.
Yeah.
It is.
Private
yeah.
school, right? What
Yes.
happened there? Did you get kicked out?
No, I was a very good student. I majored in Chinese language and child development.
Wow.
Thank you.
You're going to do something good in the world. I
She
like
could
that.
be a Chinese nanny.
Well, I had a job lined up for after college that did have to do with my Chinese skills, but I kind of knew I was not really going to do that job.
Right.
So that was when I joined seekingarrangement.com.
Seekingarrangement.com. Now explain to
What
us what
is this?
what is that?
Well, if you're looking for a sugar daddy or a sugar baby, this is the website that you go on.
You're a sugar baby?
That is how I would define myself, yes.
All
there
right,
like
we're
a
going to
section
flip
for-
over all the cards. And,
Let's see.
All right.
So do you have one sugar daddy or multiple sugar daddies?
Well, over the past 3 years, I've had over probably 20
Wow.
Oh, okay. So describe the arrangement for us.
Yeah, I gotta hear this. You post.
You are a
post
woman
it.
I want to take home to my mother right away.
Oh, you don't want to introduce her to
I'm
your
very
dad.
wholesome.
Oh my, yeah, exactly.
She's doing what Jen did. She goes out to dinner, brings home the leftovers.
I know. See.
Yeah, walk us through this process.
Every
I'm
girl looks for a
fascinated
sugar
by
daddy
this.
in college.
All right, so you're on seekingarrangement.com. I'm not one to boast, but I was bombarded with messages from potential sugar daddies.
Of course.
And so I kind of weeded through them. I picked ones that had interesting comments, like someone commented on my clavicle. I had a picture of just from the neck down. They're like, nice clavicle. So I was like, oh, that's someone I could see.
He knows that word. That's good.
Yeah. And you can see their
And
profile.
he spelled it right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, what if he had a
exactly.
clavicle fetish? Now you're dealing with a
Oh,
creeper.
yeah. Well,
Well, I was intrigued. So we went out for coffee and kind of discussed a few things. We really hit it off. And
So you kind of had like a date.
yes, I figured if I'm going to be embarking on this kind of sketchy endeavor, I should probably do it the smart
Meet them
way.
in a very public
right.
place.
Very public, like
well,
any other dating situation.
He knows, because of the guidelines of this website,
Right.
seekingarrangement.com, he knows that you're after money.
Exactly.
Okay? So what do you know about what he's after?
Well, I know that he's after a young, hot little thing who's discreet.
Which you are, by the way.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we just kind of talk a little bit, and at the end of the conversation, I found is usually when he brings up, so what are you looking for? And that's when I can kind of say, well, in the past, here's how it's worked. So I've had relationships
Oh my
where
God, I've had conversations with hookers that went exactly that way.
Oh.
It's like, you just, you're in Vegas and it's like,
They look
It's-
you up and
What?
down and go, for you?
exactly. and
Before
you're
we
like,
get to the next point,
Sorry.
let's discuss this and get it out of the way.
What I want to know is, do you address what he's looking for first, or what you're looking for first? Because there have got to be deal breakers on the side of both, but especially from what he's expecting from you.
from me. Well,
Yeah.
after dating, over 20, I've lost count. They're all pretty
Good girl.
much, they're after the same thing. They do want someone that they can spend time with. So it's not like it's a pay by the hour
Right,
type
right.
of thing.
You're what? You're like a arm ornament, arm candy, that kind of thing?
Yeah,
or
I mean,
they
I've gone on vacations with these people, gone out for dinner.
Same room?
Sometimes. So, but there's this kind of either a monthly stipend or it's no strings attached. So maybe I decide, all right, I want this much per time. Because you can kind of tell the ones where it's like, I might never see you again, but I want to be paid for today.
All right. Well, see, the elephant
So
in,
they got to pay for coffee?
No.
the elephant
So the
in
coffee
the
No, I
room.
don't
room.
charge for coffee.
Okay.
Sarah Kate, we do have to address this, I think, honestly, because everybody who's listening to you talk said, okay, are you having sex with these guys?
There have been ones I've had sex with and some that I have not had sex with. For instance,
Per
there's...
them or you?
Guys you really hit it off
No,
with.
this was one. He was a cross-dresser, and he had other requests, such as I applied fake eyelashes onto his brow. Like
And
they
he,
have.
he wanted you to wear his clothes and trade little ideas on how to do your hair and stuff
Oh my
like
God,
that, or
makeup
what?
tips?
More
Yeah.
so, he wanted to dress up like a woman, and he was a 67-year-old man. In the past year, he had been indulging in these cross-dressing fantasies.
A judge, a lawyer, a rabbi? What was it?
Governor.
in the silver
Senator?
in the silver trade.
Oh, really?
So he wanted someone open-minded enough, and I thought it was funny. I told my friends. I'm telling everyone now. So.
Yeah, there you go.
So we never had sex or anything, but
Because he wanted you
'Cause he
for a
had different-
specific
yeah,
purpose.
yeah.
He
Okay.
wanted somebody that he can parade around with and have somebody accept it.
Are your parents back
Right.
in Massachusetts?
yes, they are.
How aware of your activities are they?
Oh, they're very aware.
What do they say?
They say, well, I see why you would like this lifestyle. Because for me, more so than just paying for school and classes and whatever, this is my primary source of income. And I've been saving up. So they're like, how do you live like you do? And my grandma was asking me, and I just kind of say, okay, I have some wealthy boyfriends.
Okay, live like you do. What are you talking? You have a nice apartment, a penthouse apartment, something like that? Nice car?
It's not extravagant or anything, but I'm 24. I have my own 1-bedroom apartment, a car, and like I don't work. That's basically what.
And you're going to college still,
right? And I'm at UCLA,
which isn't cheap either. That's about $12,000 a year, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, actually, the classes I take there are just kind of for my own pleasure, my own leisure. I take
because you're not getting your own pleasure with your sugar daddies.
Well, because I feel like, because I had all this time on my hands, because it's like I'd hang out with these sugar daddies, and then it's like I have all this money.
Well, what about
bad problem to have?
I
Well,
can
what about
listen to
after
you
school?
talk
I mean, it
all
sounds
day
like
long.
okay, if you were going to business school, this would be great. This would be like class. You would be learning from all these transactions and how to actually make it in the world. Like, do you think about when you're out of school and you don't need to do this anymore? Will you continue? Because it's so much easier than actually working and going to a job.
Yeah,
Well, she's working.
I mean,
Trust
she's
me.
working, but
What's kind of happened to me, and I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it, but it's almost like I don't really see any point of dating any guy for free at this point.
Oh my
I
God.
was going to ask you about relationships
Yeah.
and how that whole thing works out.
Guess you
Are
and
you
I are
on
out.
the market? Are you looking?
Yeah, are you ruined forever then for meaningful
That is
relationships?
phenomenal.
Like, I knew going into it that I was attracted to older guys. I'd never dated anyone at Tufts University. Granted, I went to an all-girls school for 7 years before that, so
Was
I
your
thought...
dad
Every
absent?
time.
No, I have a
All-girls school.
wonderful father, wonderful
Yeah?
relationship. It's
Okay.
very normal and healthy.
Because that's you see that a lot of times, with
Sure.
the young ladies who go for the older men. Their dad was in the a merchant marine or something like that, or he just
the
wasn't.
daddy complex.
Well, the
wasn't around,
all-girls
yeah.
school thing seems to sort of have a pattern.
Well, I
also.
almost think it's because I do not have daddy issues, because I don't get attached to
go.
these guys.
Right.
I'm actually very organized about it, and I really just use them for what I can get out of them.
You put the all schoolgirl thing on your profile picture because that's kind of hot.
yeah, I mean,
You
it
put your
kinda-
schoolgirl uniform on.
Yeah, a little bit like.
I think my tagline was
Easy.
Not,
Can I check
Easy
your
boys.
profile while I'm on the air
They're
here?
not going to let you
Sure.
speak
Well, I don't
anymore
know.
because they're just enjoying themselves far too
We really
much.
are.
Well,
yeah.
here's the thing. I mean, Sarah Kate here is not unusual. The website put out a press release this week. SeekingArrangement.com says that 1 million college students worldwide have joined SeekingArrangement.com. So
Wow.
this is not a fluke.
Do you know other girls that do this? I mean, do you have friends that are also involved, or are you sort of flying solo?
That's the thing. I don't really have friends who are involved. Like,
Yeah.
I had a guy who was looking to have 2 sugar babies for an evening.
Oh.
And so I had a friend who I thought would be into it, and she has not spoken to me since.
Oh no! Well, there you go.
What's her name? We got a better shot at her.
All right. So the other thing we need to clarify here is give us your best take in terms of how much money you got out of a guy over the course of your relationship
Great
with him.
question.
How
Oh, yeah.
much did you take in?
Well, okay. So, out of the course of our relationship or out of one night?
Well, yeah, there's 2 questions there.
Well, I
There are
guess
two
there's
answers.
multiple
Yeah, let's
questions.
go one night first.
Let's get your
Because
best
there
night.
was one time where I went to see this guy, and we'd already agreed on, what the arrangement was going to be. And within the first hour that I was with him, his dog ran under the fence. We were outside. He jumps
no.
over the fence and breaks his entire body. Like, he started yelling. He's like, "Call 911!
Man.
God.
My bone is sticking out of my leg."
Yeah, this is not the arrangement he was looking for.
But he'd already given me an envelope of $1,600, so I just left.
You just left.
You left him to die?
You called 911. You called 911 and then you left.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not a terrible
my
human being.
The
I-
dog is going to come back and eat his leg.
Oh my God, that is
Oh.
Just didn't
phenomenal.
wait for the ambulance
didn't,
to
like,
arrive.
say,
I,
"Oh,
fly,
feel
I flagged
bad."
out the
It's-
ambulance.
Yeah.
It's like, look, if you're
Sorry
let
to
off
be you.
work early, you don't expect to get paid for your whole shift. Didn't you just leave him half or something? You took all the money?
Well, he didn't ask for it back. I was,
Oh, he was
I love you.
You got to have a certain set of
Wow.
scruples to be good at this.
Yeah,
right?
I
Totally.
think so.
and I was
think so.
prepared to spend that whole night. You know how you have to cancel an
Right.
appointment 24
Yeah,
hours
exactly.
in advance? Like,
Okay.
What are you, the
Hey,
dentist?
won't be.
You got to call 2 days
Much.
beforehand? Otherwise, we charge you half price? What are you doing?
my time's valuable.
Oh my
I guess
God.
so, yeah.
So $1,600, that's the most you've made in one night?
Yes. I think from that kind of experience. And then,
From that kind. When I leave a man to die,
Right.
you make
with a
$1,600.
compound fracture and a missing dog.
So like over
No,
a
yeah.
course of like a relationship, quote unquote.
I'd say the best, well, there have been maybe vacations, like I went to New Orleans with a guy for 5 days and $5,000, and it was
Jesus Christ.
he just went to this
Do
conference
they
all
have
day.
sugar mamas that are into?
Oh, so you were alone most of the time?
Yep, I went to the Mardi Gras Museum. I went to the aquarium.
A
and
good old time.
yeah.
Now,
and I would come back.
When it comes down to tax season, do you 1099 this
Yeah,
or do you 1040 EZ?
I
Because
love
you're
it.
accountant.
Well, yes, I do self-owned business, privately owned business.
And then
I
you
love
And
it.
also gifts. I
Independent
mean, these are gifts.
contractor, yeah.
Right,
Right.
gifts.
Independent
right.
contractor.
Right,
Jeez.
right.
And also, I mean, I actually have a little day job. I work with the elderly.
Oh boy,
I mean,
that could translate.
That's like perfect
That's your
pickings.
day job
That's
and
like
your night
shooting
job.
fish in
Yeah.
a barrel. Yeah. That's fantastic. You get that Social Security check there?
but that's just to keep me busy because, again, I have all this time.
Did you ever get a degree, or do you plan to?
I have my bachelor's
Oh, okay. In what? In the
in Chinese language, child development,
right.
cum laude.
Yeah.
Can you speak some
Wow.
Chinese?
欢迎大家来到我们今天的表演。
That's pretty good.
What'd you just say? Hand over the money, sucker?
Yeah, it sucks to be you. Late.
So have you ever had a guy that you just you can't stand him and he's disgusting, but he pays so well that you just kind of stick with it?
Yeah, like hot pickle
Yes.
breath
You're
or
like,
something like that. You know.
Yeah. I mean, what's your
Well-
worst story about let's hear that side other than the
Yeah, the guy who.
we've heard that I made $16,000 or $1,600 just from a guy with a broken leg and calling 911 story, which is
That was awesome.
yeah,
Right.
awesome.
She's a
but
good Samaritan.
there's
How
gotta
dare
be
you?
the other side.
Well, there was this guy. He owned a room at the Plaza, and this was when I lived in New York. And so I would spend a night with him there once a week, and every month he'd give me $4,000. And so that to me was a pretty good arrangement because I was living with my grandparents. I had no expenses whatsoever.
$4,000.
But his thing was, while we were in that lovely Plaza bed, he wanted me to say he was very intrigued by my relationship with my father, which is healthy.
Oh,
but
weirdo. Weirdo.
There was some.
But I would always indulge him. I mean, he'd say, "Ooh, when you went on vacation with your dad, did you share a bed?"
Oh, weirdo.
Oh.
Oh, that would.
Like inside, I'm like, "No," but I'd be like, "Yes."
Oh.
Yeah.
And
Ew.
he'd
That's
be
just
like, "Did
creepy.
he touch you?" Like, so I would.
You are wired perfectly for this,
No.
isn't she?
She is.
What? Okay,
She's
when
real
somebody.
laissez-faire about it.
Well, it's called
So to
having
have
no
to be,
heart.
Yeah.
I mean, I already know the answer to this question, but I'm not even going to ask it because you've completely resolved in your head and rationalized what you're doing, and I'm guessing, do not consider yourself a prostitute.
Of course not. I'm a lady of leisure at worst, but
Oh my
So you're
God.
just
You're
a
the
term
greatest person
prostitute.
ever.
You, lady of the
You
night.
are so awesome. It's unbelievable.
If at some
She'll
point,
never love you back, Jay.
Well,
you-
believe me, I don't have the paycheck.
What's your? Jay wants to know what's the minimum. What can we ask that? What's the minimum?
There you go. That's a great question.
Yeah.
well, let's just say in the past 3 years, I've not done anything with any guy for under $300, and even that makes me feel. To me, that's even a little bit degrading. So that's why, I would never do it for free, you know. So at least 300,
Do you-
preferably 500.
do you see
or
yourself
more.
ever having a meaningful relationship outside of this arrangement?
That
kind
you're
of
not
thing?
getting paid for.
Well, the reason why it kind of works for me is because I think I actually am a little bit asexual. So it's almost like this is the money. It's like an incentive for me to actually go out and be social and have a sex life.
You're
like
a
other
drone.
In other words, you're not
interesting.
interested in sex other than when it comes down to this business transaction. You're not really seeking that.
That's correct. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would never.
Huh.
not for
So
free.
if it wasn't for this, you wouldn't be interested in being with guys or having sexual encounters.
Like, I can't take you to a movie for free. I'll pay for the ticket.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. You might be expecting something after. That's what I found
Oh,
with
not
guys
for a
my
movie.
age.
No.
They're
Oh, I
always,
hear you.
You're just gonna
they're
get a
always
popcorn trick.
expecting.
If I take
things.
you to a steak dinner, you better pony up.
Yeah.
See, so girls do that. So that's pretty much the same thing. They just aren't smart enough to take it home and cash.
See, I love how you put that. They're not smart enough to do that. I love that about you. That is brilliant.
Sarah Kate, I think we've learned a lot having you here in the studio, and we realize that you're way out of all of our leagues.
Are there sugar mamas? Like, can Chris and I go and sign up and get some 80-year-old lady on the hill? What's up?
I'm sure there are.
It's very rare, but
Yeah.
Cougars, they call those.
whatever.
I'd suggest you go maybe gay for pay, if anything.
That's better payoff.
Jay, right up your
Hey,
alley.
you're much better looking than me, fool. You're right,
All right,
in there.
one more thing.
Right in their wheelhouse.
I've got to know this before we let you go, because we're almost done with the program, too. When you were living in New York with your grandparents, did you ever pull your grandpa aside and say, hey, Grandpa, there's a whole wide world of, chippies out there looking for a guy just like you?
Well, why would I promote someone else's business?
Oh, wow, you're competitive,
myself-
too.
She is a business woman.
Right?
I love it.
So I think
She's a wolf in a hot chick clothing.
I'm so pleased that SeekingArrangement.com sent you over here, but I think they have to be worried about you because at some point you might become their competition. When you want to,
I love that.
When you want to
website.
expand.
Think of all it's
Do
done
you
for
see a
me.
future
Yeah,
Heidi
look.
Fleiss here, Phil? Is that what you're saying?
Good question.
Oh, is this the gateway drug?
No,
I think so, Phil. That's a perfect way to do it.
Yeah.
no, I say I'm CEO of my own body.
There you go.
But I don't trust other girls. If I'd never send other girls out.
Interesting.
Do you have like a business card? No, I'm just kidding.
No, but he's not.
I'm kidding. Yeah. No, really. No.
Oh, my goodness.
say,
All right,
yeah,
there we go.
He'll put you through junior college.
Sarah Kate, thanks
Yeah.
for coming by. And
for having me.
I'll put you through a class at the Learning Annex.
Right? That's it. That's
all
about
I
the
got.
budget.
Occupational education, right? Way to go.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, good. Well, we're gonna
chase her out of here.
we're gonna do this again next week.
Wait, come back.
I see taillights already. She's so out of here.
She looked around and is like, okay, that guy's got really.
It's almost a
Billabong
precursor
shirt
to
on.
next week's show. We're gonna try to do a bunch of Valentine's Day related things. Right?
Fun.
Fun.
Thanks for liking Phil Hulett and Friends on Facebook. Subscribe to our RSS feed. We're on Twitter at PHAFpod. Like us on iTunes. Give us some stars. Mike Stark is our executive producer. Our theme song is composed and performed by Russ Monson. On behalf of Jennifer Bjorklund, Jay Campidonia, and Chris Martin. Until next week, so long from San Pedro, California. And thanks for listening to Phil Hulett and Friends. It's free.